So it was my son's John's 25th birthday. He worked at the Post Ranch in Big Sur off of the Route 1 in California. It was a luxurious retreat. I hadn't seen him in a while and I missed him terribly. So I decided to do a road trip and go visit. When I arrived, casually, he calls me up and he goes, "Mama, we're going to be dining at the restaurant tonight. I want you to meet some of the people that I work with." I take my time to get dressed, looking for something nice to wear, wanting this dinner with my son to be just right. You know that feeling, wanting my son to be proud of me. He picks me up and we start up the winding road up the mountain. We get to this iron gate where the security guard knew my son, and they chit-chatted for a while. And then we continued up the winding path. Everything was obscured from the road. And I'm looking out the window and going, what is this place? The rooms were little huts that were tucked right into the mountainside. And the balconies were all facing the Pacific Ocean. I'm thinking to myself, so this is how the other half vacations. So we got to the main building and I'm looking at this in ridiculously incredulously huge expanse of water, which turns out to be an infinity pool. The thing is, the pool and the Pacific Ocean had the same color, this blue-green, and it was just an expanse of water because you couldn't tell where the pool ended and where the Pacific Ocean continued. Just an incredible view. My son opens the door to the kitchen and we walk in, and the workers all chanted, Chef John, is this your mama?" My heart was warmed. It was with such warmth and respect. And it reminded me when Jonathan worked in the kitchens in Brooklyn, New York, and he'd come home with his knuckles. They looked charred like barbecue, burnt to the bone. And it was really nice to see him, the connection that he had with the workers. Then we moved on to the dining room. Now, the sight that greeted me when I entered the dining room took my breath away. It was spectacular, but I have to describe it so that you can understand why I was so moved. The entire front of the restaurant, the dining room, was framed in glass. And beyond the glass, all you could see is the expanse of the blue Pacific Ocean, all the way down to the horizon. And that was not all. This was the evening, and the sun was setting. So picture this. Picture orange and pink and reds and the sky and the setting sun, and all coming in a cascade down to the water. And this was just magical. Now, there was a 40-foot drop at the edge of the patrons that were sitting at the end of with the tables to the glass wall. Looking down, their view was this steep 40-foot drop right into the ocean. Right, there were rocks below and the waves hitting against the rocks, and if you were quiet, you can actually hear the ocean. You can hear the waves sitting against the ocean. And it was such an experience. Spectacular. Now, my son knows that I hate the heights. So he prepared a table in the middle of the restaurant, in the middle of the dining room. And he sat across from me. the sommelier came out with exotic wines, a huge array and selection of exotic wines to go with the food that the waiters were bringing. The waiters were bringing out food served in platters as big as space saucers. Like the saucers looked, they were out of space. And these white platters had the food just in precise precision right in the middle of the plate. And then there were squiggly decorations around. You know what I'm talking about. It looked so good I didn't want to eat the food on the plate. But I can tell you, and you can take my word for it, that it was delicious. My son was explaining every single detail to me. The moment that he had the idea to make the dish, all the way up until the dish was what we were seeing in front of us. And he said sometimes it took days to perfect the art of the dish he was preparing. He was speaking with so much passion, and this was his creation. Now, one of the owners was there that night, and he came over and to tell me how delighted they were to have him in this establishment. Jonathan was the executive chef, and he said he brought a unique perspective to the kitchen. He also said to me that I should be proud of him, and I'm sitting there going, I couldn't possibly be more proud of my son. But then I'm thinking, I don't know which one of us is really more proud, me or him. Because here I am thinking, my son, I couldn't give him everything that he needed in his life. Yet he took what little he had, and this is what he made of it. And then my son is thinking, he's showing me his success. So we were both, I guess, proud that night. But don't get me wrong. There were many, many times during the years that I doubted myself as a mother. You know, when you're in it, all you can think is that you're hoping that you do something right. You're hoping that with unconditional love and effort would fill in those spaces, the gap where certainty and finances are definitely lacking. But that moment, that night, I knew that I had done my best. My best, even imperfect, was enough. We may never know the people that we serve, that we are caregiving, the people that we're leading. We may never know who they're destined to become. It could be the next greatest scientist. It could be the next football player, movie star, the next Chef John. The possibilities are endless. But that's not the point. The point is, we do the best we can. We give it our best shot. And we mold and we model and we lead and we guide. And in so doing, we hope that we help them to become the fullest, best person who they're meant to be. And that is our work. That is what we're called to do. Whether it be parenting, whether it be caregiving, whether it be leading, we hope that we've lived our lives in a way that will help others to rise to the very best of who they are, or who they're meant to be. So that view on top of the mountain, it's not just the ocean. It's a reflection of what can be if we love and accept with compassion. If we believe, and if we simply do the very best that we can. I hope that this is a legacy that we're all aiming for. Thank you for being my captive audience.